get with it if you would like to watch it. Okay, I'm going to get going. So this is the 5 critical steps to balance your hormones in 12 weeks. This is what I teach all of the time in my program, the Exhausted to Energize method. And I'm always trying to come in here. Can you still see me, by the way? Because I've left that screen. I hope that you can. I always try and come in here and show up with value and teach things that might be able to help you and try to motivate you to take action on your health as well. Okay, so what I'm going to show you over the next 5 days is 5 days, not 5 days, is the simplest way to balance your hormones naturally, and maybe why, if you've been trying things so far, why they may not be working, for 3 main reasons. Okay, I want to help you increase your energy, I want to help you stabilize your mood, and I want to help you balance your menstrual cycle. So just let me know. I'm going to have one more quick look at my phone because I've left you and I can't see you because I'm looking at the slides that I should be showing you. Just let me know that you can still see me and hear me. Okay, I'm going to leave my phone there so I can kind of see the comments. Okay, right, let's move on. So right, you can't see the slides, but I'm going to go through them. Hopefully you're going to be following me. I might record this afterwards and put it back in. But when I run live trainings, I always like to share thank you gifts with you because you're investing your time and your energy showing up. And what I'm going to teach you over the next 5 days, you really would benefit from hearing all of it. And I know it's easy to kind of feel excited at the beginning and then drop off. So I want to reward you if you're going to show up for 5 days in a row. And I've got a really nice menu plan that I've put together. So I put together my favorite 15-minute recipes. In fact, they take 15 minutes or less. I put it all together in a menu plan. So it's got all of the ingredients in there, all of the step-by-step how-to, and it's got 8 main meals, 6 desserts, 1 breakfast, or you could use it as a snack, and everything takes under 15 minutes, and they're all hormone balancing recipes as well. In fact, over in the Holistic Health Circle, the monthly membership that I run with my sister, someone commented with a picture of one of the dishes from the 15-minute meals this week and said, did I ever mention that this is like one of my staples? I love this particular bean dish that she cooked. And I said, no, you didn't tell us that. So she put, it was a lovely reminder of how well those dishes are going down. And I'm going to give you a different letter. It's like a little game that we're going to play. I'm going to give you a different letter every day. If you add all the letters up, they make a word, send it to me on Friday, and I will send you this menu plan, which is normally for our paying clients only. So that's my little gift to you. But also, I'm going to do a giveaway as well. So I'm just going to come back to the screen for a second because I want to hold these up. I've got a giveaway of products. Yay! I'm really, really excited to show you these. So we've got, let me just show you this one, Nano Gold, okay, which is a liquid. I'm going to tell you about it. And Omega Balance from Cytoplan. So I'm going to post these out to one person, and the person I'm going to post out to at the end of the week is, I know it's like on social media, I'm in groups as well, and sometimes you're like a little bit silent, don't comment too much. Hello, thank you for your comments. I see you. Thank you so much. Can't see your screen, I know. Zoom's not working. I have no idea why, but I'm just going with StreamYard. So I want to post these out to someone at the end of the week. These are 2 products that I use, that I love. I haven't used these ones. They're all sealed. They're brand new for you. And this is for anyone who shows lots of interaction. So if you show up every day and you're commenting, you're putting lots of comments, and you're answering my questions, I'm here sharing my energy with you, and it's really, really nice to feel the energy back as well. So I'm going to reward the person that shows up with the most energy in the form of comments. It's worth £50, and I'm going to post it out to you at the end of the week. So if you want a little bit more information on these products, here, I've written it down. Right, we've got the Nano Gold, first of all. So this is a liquid product. I should have brought my one over from over there that's open to show you. But it's pure water that contains nanoparticles of gold. Now, I bet this is not a supplement that anyone in this group has used. There's 8,500 of you in this group, so that might be a bit of a bold statement. Maybe there's someone out there that uses this. But if there is, I don't think there's many of you. So let me know, have you heard of Nano Gold and who uses Nano Gold? It's a bit of an unusual one, but let's go through some of the benefits of it. Okay, so you would start with a really small dose, 1 teaspoon, but you could get up to potentially 30 millilitres a day of Nano Gold. And it's really good for many, many things. So in the body, we do actually have small amounts of gold. I think it's 0.2 milligrams in your blood. It's a tiny, tiny amount, but we also have more in our brain, in our eyes, in our liver, and it's a great detoxifier. So it can actually help clarity and focus. It can help reduce depression and anxiety. It's a great antioxidant, so you can use it on your skin, so you're literally glowing from the outside. Haven't heard of Nano Gold, haven't heard of it. You've used the Nano Silver, wonderful. So what have you used, Facebook user? I can't see your name, I'm so sorry. What have you used the Nano Silver for? Because they have Nano Zinc as well. They have lots of these nano products, but this is the Nano Gold. So, oh look, there's the hubby in the background. Hello, hubby. It's great for memory. It's great for depression and anxiety, actually. And these are some of the conditions it may be used for. It's used for autoimmune conditions, disease, fibromyalgia, hormonal imbalance, which is one of the reasons why I wanted to bring it on this evening. It's great for hormonal imbalance, stress, and arthritis it can be good for as well. So you can use it topically. If you have like inflammation or pain, you can use it topically, but you can use it orally as well. So let me know who uses the Nano Silver and what you use it for. So that is the Nano Gold. So I've got that to send out. And then we've got the Amigo Balance. Now I talk about Cytoplan a lot. The reason I like Cytoplan is I love supporting British companies for a start. So they're a UK company. They have amazing products that are really, really well researched. They've got expert information. I mean, anyone can phone them up and get information on the phone, and they're great for practitioners as well. They are wholly owned by a charitable foundation. And so this is cold press algae oils. So it's suitable for vegans. And it's got omega-3, omega-6 in there. Now, if any of you are looking at taking omega-3, I've seen some great adverts for ones on Facebook recently. And don't Facebook and Instagram adverts suck you in? I think they do. I actually bought something that I saw in an advert today that cleans the toilet, that it looked really, really good. But one of the fish oils that I looked up on Facebook that looked amazing actually didn't have any DHA in it. So we want our oils to have DHA and EPA in it. And that's because they both support the heart and the brain focus and concentration. So I would say it's not such a good product if it hasn't got the DHA and EPA. So maybe check your product at home. But this one's also got, what's it got in it? Something else that I wrote down that I wanted to tell you about. DHA, GLA, which is really, really good for reducing inflammation as well. And that's often found in oil of primrose oil, the primrose oil. Yeah, I know lots of women use that for menstrual cycles, so that's in there as well. So that's a lovely product to take. But these two, I'm going to send out to whoever interacts with me the most, 50 quid's worth by the end of the week. Looking forward to sending that out to you. Now, if you are looking to buy any supplements, by the way, I always get mine from the Natural Dispensary. And the reason I use them is they send everything out within 24 hours normally, if they can. They had little few delays over COVID times, but normally within 24 hours. It's free delivery if it's over £25. It's a trusted source. So I buy stuff off Amazon sometimes, but when it's a third party off of Amazon, it's not always a trusted source. So we don't know how good quality the products are inside, or even if it is what it says it is on the label. And there's been some good programs about that where they was testing things. Oh, there's an alarm going off. I'm just going to ignore that. Yes, and they're a UK company, so that's another thing that I wanted to tell you about. Right, let me just go back to my slides. There's lots of distractions tonight. Someone's phone's going off in here now. Hold on, I'm just going to go back to my slides 1 minute. Hello. Would you mind taking it out and writing on a live video? Thank you. That's my son beeping his phone going, where's my phone? It's in with mummy where you're not meant to be going. I've lost where I am. Give me a second, ladies. This is the thing when you've been doing it for a while, right? You don't freak out. You're just like, give me a minute. Okay, right, I can see my slide now. The Nano Gold and the Omega. Right, where was I up to? So this is what I wanted to say, first of all, who I usually help. I usually help women who are TATT, tired all the time, tired all the time. Is that you? Put your hand up if that's you. Let me know in the comments. So do you feel tired all the time, even when you've had a good night's sleep? So maybe you've had 7, 8, 9 hours consistently, but you're still feeling like you are dragging your body throughout the day, okay? That is how I used to feel, like I was dragging my body throughout the day. Maybe you're feeling, because you're feeling so tired, then it has a knock-on effect to the way that you show up for your friends or your family. So you're feeling like snappy, like you're not giving them the best version of you. A lot of women I work with have a lot of brain fog. They feel like they can't recall just the simplest things, and loads of problems with menstrual cycle as well. So obviously it's really, really linked to hormonal balance is your menstrual cycle. So it may be that your periods are really heavy, or that your periods are really long, or that your energy is really low just before your period, or you can't stop eating, or you have banging headaches. There's like lots and lots of things that I could go on about. Pain, obviously. So there's a picture of me. This is like different to my old presentation. This is a new presentation I made especially for today. I hope I can get it to you at some point. But I've got a picture of me up on the screen when I don't look so great. And I'm sharing my story. So I'll tell you briefly in case you haven't heard me share my story before. But the reason I do this work is I suffered with all these problems. So I was exhausted all the time with no energy. I was emotional all the time. I had a absolute chronic back pain to the point that I needed to keep lying down on the floor in the middle of the day, paying hundreds, thousands of pounds actually in the end on all different kinds of treatments like chiropractic, osteopath, acupuncture, craniosacral therapy, Alexander technique, like I could go on and on here, and they all helped me, but it was nutrition that eventually helped me get to the root cause of my problems. I felt dizzy and weak all the time, and shaky and tired all the time, of course. I also used to get really breathless, have a racing heart, lots of cravings. And I generally felt kind of unsupported with everything. And I don't think now, looking back, I don't think that was the case. I did have support, but I just didn't feel like I had support. So then I just wanted to tell you a few common other symptoms. So that was me, but in addition, you may have problems. If you've got a hormone imbalance, you may have problems sleeping. So that may be getting to sleep or staying asleep. I mentioned the menstrual cycle already, your libido. So, actually having the desire to want to have sex with your partner, or just having any kind of sexual urges at all. Hunger signals, so they could be all over the place. So some women I work with get like really hungry in the middle of the night, or just hungry all the time, and it just doesn't matter how much you eat, you are constantly hungry. And I would say headaches and migraines are another really, really common symptom as well. So let me know. It's always helpful for me to know that I'm kind of like hitting the nail on the head and I'm getting the symptoms right. Does this feel like you? Which ones is it that you are suffering from? So I'm not going to go through this every day, but on the first day I kind of wanted to outline, if you have an hormone imbalance, what your symptoms may be, a little bit about my story as well. So if you don't know me already, I'm sure you do, but there are new people to the group, and welcome to anyone who is new. And thank you to those of you who've invited friends to the group recently where you feel like they would benefit from this training. Try and slow down a little bit. I just don't like to keep you too long. I am Hannah Carr. I'm a naturopathic nutritionist, which means using nature as a cure. So I'm always looking for completely natural solutions to your health. And that is nutrition, but it's other things as well. So like I'm here in the, oh, you can't see the photo. I'm here in the photo with my sister and we're doing a bit of yoga in this photo. But basically what I do is I help women to balance their hormones over 12 weeks. And the main symptom that most women have got that I help them overcome is chronic fatigue, just feeling completely exhausted and wiped out all of the time. And there's probably quite a few symptoms that go along with that. It's not going to be just that by itself. Also, in case you're just a little bit confused from other stuff that we've spoken about in the group before, I run a membership with my sister as well. So my sister runs this group with me. Her name's Sarah King. She is a yoga teacher and a breathwork coach. And so we run a monthly membership called the Holistic Health Circle as well. And that's more for women who have got anxiety or want to optimize their health. So the work that I do over 12 weeks is very supportive, very specific, this is like take one step in front of the other, and we're going to get you to a place of, healing your body. And the membership that we run is for women who've got anxiety or women who are looking to optimize their health. And I'm a mum. I've got 2 gorgeous children. I've got Ollie, who's 12 now, and Ava, who's 8, who's the one I just took to a club this evening. So what I want to tell you is, if you're struggling with these symptoms, there is a solution, but it's normally multifactorial. So what I mean by that is, there's normally not just one thing that you've got to do to feel better. Sometimes there is just one thing. So it might be, some women will say, like, I cut out gluten and then my energy was completely restored. That could happen. It might be genuinely that you need more sleep. And if you had more sleep, like 8 to 9 hours a night, that you would feel a whole lot better. But I would guess that for most of you here, it's not that simple, and that's why you're here in this group. If it was that simple, you would have solved it already for yourself. And normally it's multiple things that you have to change in your diet, your lifestyle, look at deficiencies, maybe do some detoxing, balance your blood sugar levels. We're going to talk about it all over the next 5 days, and we're going to focus on one of those areas this evening. Okay, are you still with me? Can you still hear me and everything else? Because I have no idea. Normally I can see it all on my screen, and I can't see any of it at the moment. So where am I up to? Hold on a second. Slide 10. Okay. Right, so over the next 5 days, I'm going to show you how the 5 critical steps to balance your hormones. Okay, so I'm going to have to read it out. But number 1 is to reboot your energy, and that's what we're going to focus on tonight. Okay, number 2, which will be tomorrow, is going to restore your core energy system. Then it's to eliminate any energy sappers. Then it's to replenish nutrients. And then the last one, which is really one of the most important, is stress relieving strategies. Often overlooked, but absolutely crucial. You can do the first 4. And if you haven't, managed your stress, none of that is really going to help you. Okay. Let's move on. So tonight we are focusing on an energy reboot. So this is what I do right at the beginning of my Exhausted to Energized method, which is a 12-week program to help you balance your hormones naturally. Okay, and there's 2 main steps: hydration and blood sugar balance. And tonight we're going to be focusing on blood sugar balance. Okay, what do I want to mention briefly about hydration? Hydration is often overlooked. It seems so simple, but it's absolutely critical. We cover things like the quantity of water that you should be drinking, the quality of water that you should be drinking, because it shouldn't be tap water. We talk about how to get the hydration into your cells. So you're not just drinking water and it's going through your body, but we talk about getting the hydration actually into your cells. And I've had a nice image here that I can't show you, but just to demonstrate, just think about it now in your mind. If you've got a potted plant on the side that you haven't fed any water for a week or 2 weeks, what does it look like? Okay, so just paint that picture in your mind. What does it look like? Actually, drop it in the comments for me. If you're interacting, you're playing along with my game, drop it in the comments. What does the plant look like that hasn't been watered for a week or 2? Are you that plant? Are you all droopy? Have you got no energy? Are you walking with your head down and your shoulders rolled because you're dehydrated? So that is like such a fundamental step. And as I say, we cover that in the very, very early stage of the program. And the reason I designed the program like this was having an energy reboot at the beginning is there's lots of things that you need to do over 12 weeks to restore your energy and to balance your hormones. And guess what you need to do some of that work? Energy. You need the motivation and the energy to be able to want to make changes in your life. So the first thing that I want to do and focus on giving you is enough energy to get started. So we start with really small, easy steps. This is why it's really important to start with an energy reboot. It doesn't mean it's going to be, completely reboot your energy and you're good to go forever. It's the beginning. It's the first step. Okay. So let's talk about the blood sugar balance, which is really, really important. And I would call this a quick win for boosting your energy. Okay. So if you have challenges with your blood sugar balance, this is some of the symptoms. So listen up, because they're not on the screen. Let me know if you feel any of these. Type the word into Facebook so I can see what ones you're feeling. So these were big ones for me, okay? Shaky, palpitations, hangry. You know what hangry is, right? Hungry and angry. Yeah? Feeling like you need to eat now. I used to feel like that quite a lot. We all get it from time to time, but I'm talking about, do you feel like this quite regularly, like you just cannot hold on for your next meal? Okay. Weight gain, particularly around the belly, so the belly fat. These are some big ones that lots of women in our community are feeling at the moment. Night sweats or hot flushes. So hot flushes in the day or night sweats at night. That is a symptom of an imbalance in the blood sugar levels. Okay, fatigue, that's a massive one because you're on that roller coaster, right? So your energy is dropping, it's picking up, it's dropping again. So fatigue. And then it goes on to what I would call slightly more advanced symptoms. So things like blurred vision. Anyone here get blurred vision? You may not want to put it in the Facebook chat, but lots of women tell me that they get that. Okay, so I know, oh, this blood sugar management, we need to get it under control right now. Needing to go a wee all the time, so increased urination. It can have numbness or tingling in the hands or feet and excessive hunger. So even when you've eaten, you're still feeling hungry all the time. Okay, so if you don't get this under control, let's talk about some of the damage that it can cause without going into too much detail. Kind of highlight information. It can damage your eyes, so it could be things like, you know, glaucoma. There's lots of things that can go wrong with the eyes, actually. The kidneys, fat storage, so we mentioned that already, the belly fat that you feel like you can't shift. It can damage your nerves, so that tingling hands and feet, it can be permanent damage to the nerves. Listen to this one, right? When you've got blood sugar imbalance that's been going on for many years under not managed, you're 4 times more likely to have a heart attack or stroke and not have any warning signs. So no symptoms before. Do you know anyone? I do. I'm not going to say who it is, but I do know someone who had a heart attack absolutely out of nowhere. That's what it feels like. It feels like it's out of nowhere. It's not out of nowhere. There will be some warning signs before, but are we tuned into them? Okay, so 4 times more likely to have a heart attack or stroke with no warning signs before. Digestive issues, and it can go on to affect other things like thyroid function, which leaves us very low in energy as well, and it could cause depression as well. So let me know if you feel like you know someone that's happened to you, or maybe even if you feel like that's you. Okay. So I feel like as we're approaching the perimenopause or the menopause, this is when we feel like some of these symptoms are coming up. So particularly like the hot flashes or the night sweats or the belly fat, right? But actually it's happening decades before. So if you see children, do you know when they're very slim all over, but they've got like really big bellies or, you know, sticking out bellies? That is this hormone insulin, okay? And it's the hormone insulin that regulates the blood sugar balance. So it's when you're starting to become insulin resistant. So pre-diabetic or even diabetic. And so we feel like we notice it maybe in our 30s, our 40s, our 50s, but really it's happening a lot earlier when we need to tune into these more subtle warning signs. And they're not really that subtle, but like the shaking, like the palpitations, like the maybe feeling dizzy, like the cravings, right? We need to tune into these warning signs and change. And I'm going to tell you how we can change in this training. So we need to look at it way, way, way before. So if you're in your 20s and you're watching this, great, let's start making changes now. If you're in your 30s, great, let's start making changes now. It's never, ever too late. Okay. And it's not only diet that affects insulin. There's lots of other things that can affect it as well. So I'm going to go through that with you in a moment. Just want to make sure I haven't missed anything. I made lots of notes. I've not been following. I've just been talking. Okay, yeah, so I want to tell you a little bit more about insulin. It's insulin's job to sweep up the glucose from the blood and to let it into the cells. So if there's too much glucose in the blood, then the cells are going, no, we're full, we can't take any more, okay? So they won't accept any more. So that's when you start becoming insulin resistant. And like I said, it's not just diet that can do it, it's inflammation that could do it in the body. It is too much sugar in the diet that can cause it. There's some other reasons as well, but before I do that, I want to give you your first letter. So if you're playing along with me, I'm going to give you, if you come in every day and collect a letter, it spells a word, drop me a private message at the end of the week and with the word, and then I'm going to give you a menu plan. And this menu plan is my favorite 15-minute or less recipes that are hormone balancing, and it's got main meals and desserts and a snack recipe in there as well. And it all takes less than 15 minutes, every single menu. So first letter is R. 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 So maybe get your phone and start a new note section. Yeah, secret word for Fight Fatigue group. First letter is R, so make a note of that. Okay, so let's go through some of the causes of insulin resistance now. So diet, we know that, we probably know that one, right? We know that it's sugar. do we know that it's refined carbohydrates as well? So things like your breads, your pastas, your pastries, your pies, yeah, refined carbohydrates, but also bad fats as well. So anything that's kind of like fried or, you know, cooked in an, think of it of cooked in an unhealthy way in oils, or if you're not thinking of it of cooked in oils, anything that's long lasting in a packet, where if you cooked it yourself, like bread, would probably go off in a day or two. And if you buy it in a bag, it lasts like a week, doesn't it? So anything that's going to last a long time that wouldn't last a long time if you was to cook it at home. What is it that's making it last a long time? It's the trans fats that they're putting into the products, yeah? So it's diet, bad fats, sugar, refined carbs. It's also, and I think this is a really big one, and I'm going to put my hand up to this one too, sedentary lifestyle. Now, I try to get out. No, I don't try to get out. I do get out every single day. I've got a dog. I have to get out every single day. It's one of the reasons why we got a dog. But I do the school run. I get out with the dog. But I haven't done as much formal exercise in lockdown, and I've definitely been sitting on my butt more. Anyone else? It's a common, isn't it? There's so many of us that are doing this. So sedentary lifestyle can cause insulin resistance, inflammation in the body. So inflammation that you've got all the time that's not going away. If your eating window is too long, so if you're eating from early in the morning to late at night, that is not a good thing. We're not really resting the body. Prolonged stress, or you would have heard me say this before, perceived stress. So if you are feeling stressed out all the time, and I know lots of us are, and I was definitely feeling this for probably decades, and I've only managed to get it under control it's been getting better and better every year, so probably the last 5 years, but I have to say I'm at absolutely the most chilled out place of my life right at the moment. I think not having to rush everywhere during lockdown has been really helpful for me personally, but also having daily practices of slowing down to drink cacao and like lighting incense and singing and journaling. But you can do what works for you. Those may not be the things that are right for you, but managing your stress. And then some medications can cause insulin resistance. So if you're having steroids for a really long period of time, that could affect your insulin levels. So now I've got something I really wanted to show you on the screen, and that is not helpful that I can't show it. I might post it in the comments afterwards. But it basically showed you a little chart on how insulin resistance works. So I'm going to just explain it, and then I will drop it into the chat later. But you've got high carb diet at the top, right? Or it could be high sugar, then high blood sugar, then that leads to high insulin levels. And then underneath that, that's when you go into fat storage mode, right? But moving on, high insulin levels leads to insulin resistance. And then insulin resistance leads to tiredness and hunger. And then you're in that loop that is difficult to get out of. And it's not necessarily only a high carb diet at the top. So I did mention before all the different things that can cause insulin resistance. So it could be stress is at the top. Might not be a high carb, high sugar diet for you. So stress is at the top for you. Stress causes a spike in cortisol, and a spike in cortisol then spikes the blood sugar levels, because when you've got cortisol running through the body and adrenaline running through the body, you need to get like sugar into your blood really, really quickly. So you've got the energy to fight, flight, or run. Yeah. So it could be that way. So it could be stress at the top, but ultimately it has the same overall effect on the body. So become insulin resistant. Okay. So I wanted to give you some strategies really on some things that you can try. So you already know because I've told you the causes. So causes diet. So, you know, you can change your diet. Causes sedentary lifestyle. So you can do more exercise. Causes your eating window is too long. So one of the strategies that I wanted to talk to you about is fasting. So intermittent fasting. So who has tried intermittent fasting? It doesn't work for everyone. In fact, I think people are very, very individual. And if you have tried it, let me know if it's worked for you. I just want to jump over to the comments just for a moment, because I want to see if there's anything. Oh, the computer's been a bit weird. I just want to see if I can prolong stress here too. Is Lisa? Too much stress for a very long time. If we have inflammation all the time, as I do, can we still balance the hormones? Yeah, of course. Yeah, absolutely. So you need to reduce the inflammation. I'd love to know like a little bit more. So tell me a little bit more if you're happy to in the chat. How do you know you've got inflammation all the time, and do you know what's causing it? But yeah, we can get the inflammation down at the same time that we're balancing the hormones. It's all everything's interlinked in the body. Lisa says, absolutely, spent most of the last year at home in front of the computer. Me too. Sedentary lifestyle, low thyroid and constipation, those two always go hand in hand. Lots of smiley faces. I do sometimes get blurred vision, and I also need to wee all the time. Oh, and you have numbness in your hands. Eek. But okay, let's look at the positive, Lisa. You were here on this training, joining the dots. Okay, so now use this to motivate you to make changes. Okay, so that is just from what you've said. This is not a diagnosis, obviously, but just from what you've said, that could be a sign of pre-diabetes. So we get that checked with your doctor. They normally only check the fasting glucose levels, and you might want to check it more regularly than that. So off of Amazon, you can buy a glucose blood monitor, and you can check your own glucose levels regularly. You can do it 2 hours after eating. You can even check it 1 hour after eating and really find out what's happening with your blood glucose levels. Numbness and tingling, yes. Fatigue, night sweats, oh, shaky palpitations. Ladies, I know, I felt all of these, and I feel for you. Yeah, I've got the picture of the rose there. Yes, it was a picture of the rose. That's what I was trying to show you. Okay, let me just go back to my other screen. Sorry, it's a bit hard doing this all on one screen. I wasn't expecting to need to do this. We're nearly at the end. I'm not going to keep you for a lot longer. Okay, fasting, that's what we were going to talk about. So general advice. Right, so obviously I run a 12-week program, and there is general advice because most people, there's the basics that everyone needs to do. Okay, so these are some of the basics I'm talking about: hydration and blood sugar levels. They're the basics, but I would say most people need some personalization. So for example, with fasting, we hear that intermittent fasting is really, really good for us. But if your blood sugar levels are really not managed at all, actually it can cause a lot of stress on the body. And we do this when we do things too quickly. And I know many of us have this. So I don't exercise at all, and now I'm going to try and exercise 5 days a week. That's a shock for the body. I haven't got a morning routine, but now I want to start a 5 a.m. morning routine. That's a shock for the body. Okay, I normally, over a really long window, 7 a.m. till 9 p.m. or 10 p.m. But actually, I'm going to start fasting for 16 hours a day. No, we're stressing the body more. So you're hopefully getting the picture here that a lot of us are stressed, and stress causes a lot of problems in the body. So it does with cortisol, it does with adrenaline, it does with our adrenal glands, it does with insulin as well. Okay, so our blood sugar levels, and so much more in the body as well. So we really, really need to look at managing our stress. So it's not good for everyone to go, right, I've heard fasting is good for me, I'm going to jump in and fast for 16 hours a day. You can try it, it may not work for you. If you do want to try it, you need to see how your body feels. What I would recommend is that we always go a lot more gently. So what I'd written on the screen was, don't be too strict, be kind in the beginning. So there is a minimum amount of time that we should all try and fast for, if we can, to get the benefits from intermittent fasting, and that's 12.5 hours every night. Okay, so that would be like stopping eating at 7 o'clock at the night and start eating at 7:30 in the morning. So you've got plenty of time to eat still, but your body's had a really, really good rest to rejuvenate overnight as well. So that's a really good starting point, 12.5 hours. But some people can't even do that. So I mentioned earlier, some women I work with are waking up almost passing out at night because their blood sugar levels have dropped so low. Now, if that is you, you will not be able to go for 12.5 hours without eating. You need to work up to that. So we need to be kind in the beginning. So we can be conscious of it. I'm going to start with an 8-hour window. And then once I've got to that 8.5, I'm going to push to 9. And so we can start to elongate that fasting period a little bit. But another tip that I wanted to give you, and inside the Exhausted to Energize method, my 12-week program to help you balance your hormones naturally in 12 weeks, I share all of the recipes you need to balance your blood sugar levels in the second week. And I share 19 different breakfast recipes. So it takes all the thinking out of it for you, all of the researching out of it for you, and gives you recipes that are quick, delicious, easy to do. That's the most. I'm a busy mum, and I've designed this for other busy mums or other busy professionals. You don't have to be a mum, actually. But one tip that I did want to give you, apart from fasting, is not to start your morning with carbohydrates. Okay, so that's things like cereal, pancakes, normal pancakes made out of flour or oats, toast, or even porridge. And I know lots of you may be having porridge, but if you're struggling with your blood sugar levels, if you feel like you may have some insulin resistance, you're pre-diabetic or diabetic, you want to avoid having those foods at the beginning of the day, because what you're choosing to do is stabilize your blood sugar levels as soon as you wake. That's another point that I wanted to make as well. Some people actually need to eat earlier than what they are used to eating. So sometimes when I work with the women in my program, and they've heard about intermittent fasting, so they may wait until 11 o'clock to eat. And what I'm saying is that's not a bad thing, but how are you feeling like when you have that big break between eating? Are you feeling good? Are you stabilizing your blood sugar levels for the rest of the day? Because if your adrenal glands are really fatigued, or you have low thyroid function, actually you're much better having a very early small breakfast. So eating within an hour or two of waking, a very small breakfast to start fueling the body, because otherwise your body's under stress again, and then you're producing this cortisol, okay, which is going to actually not balance your blood sugar levels, right? So you don't want to be stressed. So you want to give your body a little bit of food. And what that actually helps to do is to start stoking that digestive fire as well. So it actually helps your digestion to have a small meal at the beginning of the day. Nothing too cold, ideally. Something that's warm, or at least room temperature. If you are having smoothies or juices, add a little bit of hot water, or leave your fruits or vegetables out the fridge overnight so they're not too cold when you have them, or put some nice warming things like some ginger or some turmeric in there. But a small breakfast at the beginning of the day, for many women that I work with a hormone imbalance, really removes stress, this extra layer of stress from the body, and actually starts to fuel them and give them some of the vitamins and the minerals that they need first thing. So fasting can be good, but it's not necessarily good for you to jump in straight away. Okay. What else do I want to share with you this evening? Yes, that's what I just wanted to remind you, that basically what I said at the beginning, this is multifactorial, okay? So there is a solution, but it's not just one thing. So I wanted to share now about, you may be hydrated, you may have started to stabilize your blood sugar levels, and you might still be exhausted, okay? So normally when I work with women, they see their energy returning on the first week and two, saying they feel much better. Occasionally that doesn't happen, because we're all individuals, so it depends what's going on in your body. So let's talk about why you may not be feeling better if you have tried those things. So then you think they don't work, but actually that's just stage one. We need to build upon it, okay? So some of the other reasons why you may be feeling really fatigued is anemia. So this is low iron or low iron stores. It's really, really common. It is something that you don't really want to guess too much about. You do want to have that tested, because we do store iron in the body. So we don't want to take too much of it if you haven't tested whether you're actually low already, okay? Thyroid dysfunction. So you may have an underactive thyroid that's going to be leaving you really tired all the time. You may have adrenal fatigue. That's what I personally had. And that's because I was dealing with a level of stress for many, many years. And so my adrenal glands got really, really worn out and wasn't able to produce adrenaline and cortisol when I needed it. So like when you need it to get up in the morning, my body wasn't producing it. And it's probably the case for many of you here as well, if you're suffering from the same kind of challenges. So you may have problems with your gut health. So you may be eating all this lovely food and balancing your blood sugar levels, but actually you're not absorbing many of the vitamins and minerals from your food. You may have anxiety and depression, so that can really contribute to fatigue. If you're suffering from anxiety or depression, you know this. Menopause, okay, or just a hormone imbalance in general. So we are talking about the hormone insulin tonight, but there's lots of other hormones as well, obviously. So it may be that your cortisol is too high, or that your progesterone is too low. Don't know, but you could have a hormone imbalance. You may have deficiencies. So some of the common ones are magnesium. You might not be getting enough of your essential fatty acids. You might be low on, we've mentioned iron already, vitamin D. So if you've got any of these deficiencies going on, you're still going to be tired. And then I've mentioned quite a few times tonight, and we're talking about this on Friday, is stress. So if you are stressed out all the time, stress uses up an absolute abundance of vitamins and minerals in the body. And you're producing loads more cortisol and adrenaline all the time, which leaves you feeling really, really tired. So you can be doing all the other good things, but if you're stressed all the time, that is really a thing that you need to learn how to manage. So I hope I've given you some value tonight. So just to give you a reminder, there's 5 critical steps to balance your hormones. Tonight, we've spoken about the Energy Reboot. Tomorrow, we're talking about your core energy system, which is your gut health. Then we're talking about things that might be sapping your energy, then replenishing nutrients, and then stress relieving strategies. So are you going to be joining me tomorrow at 8 p.m. when we're going to be looking at your core energy system, so gut health? That's what we're going to be looking at tomorrow. And I hope this has been helpful for you tonight with looking at insulin resistance, balancing your blood sugar levels, and it's giving you some strategies to go away with. So you've learned tonight not to have carbs too early in the morning, to maybe try some intermittent fasting but not go too strict in the beginning, and then to do some other things like exercise is wonderful. If you've got insulin resistance, you really need to be exercising more, but not exercise that's causing stress on the body. So if you've never done running before, you've never done weightlifting, don't go putting your name down for a marathon too soon because it's going to create more stress in the body. So what is kind of exercise that you could do that is not too stressful for your body? So that might be yoga, Pilates, Qigong, Tai Chi, walking, all of these things, swimming perhaps, maybe not in too much chlorinated water. So many comments. Thank you for all your interactions tonight. I know why you're interacting. You just want to win the prizes, don't you? Is that what it is? It's so nice to have you interacting with me tonight. So thank you so much. So I will see you tomorrow. You're going to have your iron levels tested about 6 months ago and they're okay. I think you're going to get checked for your thyroid too. Yeah. Often though, what the doctors is telling us is okay, but it's not optimal. So we're still not feeling good, even though the doctor's telling us that our levels are okay. Try to do 16-8. That's Ali. Do you, Ali? I didn't know that. Every day of the week and stop at the weekend. I love it and I have so much more energy. There we go, 16-8, there you go. So that is fasting for 16 hours a day and eating for 8 hours a day. So that sounds like a really nice balance there, Ali. But everyone, don't jump into it. Like I've always said, don't jump into that too quickly. If you're feeling very stressed out, that could add more stress to the body. So you might want to build up to that. If I stick to 9-8, but I was on 12-8 and I like it, that's Sarah Bailey. So we've got two women that we work with there over in the Holistic Health Circle, Sarah Bailey and Ali Forrester, who are telling us that they both do intermittent fasting. It's working really, really well for them. So thank you, ladies, for sharing your experiences. Underlying infections are causing the inflammation. Oh, you've had the Dutch test. Brilliant. Hormone Dutch test showed significant estrogen dominance. Oh, yeah, it's interesting. So with estrogen dominance, because I'm not sure if this is the lady who messaged me earlier. It might be. I can't see who it is. With estrogen dominance, sometimes it's your estrogen's too high, but sometimes it's just too high in comparison to your other hormones. So sometimes your progesterone's really low, so your estrogen's high in comparison, but actually both of those hormones are low. So it's really interesting to find out actually what's going on there. But underlying infections, yes, I think we had a little chat in Messenger earlier, didn't we? So thank you so much for joining me tonight. I hope that's been useful, and I'm going to see you back on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday and Friday night at 8 p.m. See you then.